please like and subscribe and click the bell icon to get new video updates.
In 1962, Nat Cole teamed up with arranger Belford Hendricks and producer Lee Gillette to record an album that leaned into country music. The title track was written by the brothers Noel and Joe Sheman. This song became one of Cole's biggest hits. This is the story of Nat King Cole's country albums. In 1961, Nat and Maria bought a brand new condo in Lincoln Towers. It was a new luxury apartment up in Midtown West in the New York City area. Just by coincidence, his friend, composer Joe Sheman, also had an apartment in the same building. One day, Joe's most frequent collaborator, his brother Noel, came up with the idea of a new song. So we came up with it and rewrote it, said Joe. If I tell you it took 18 minutes, it was a long time. If you note the song, there are just 3 stanzas to it, no bridge. The next evening, they were over at Noel's place writing, and Nat gave him a call. Nat told him, hey, I'm going to California tomorrow, and there's one side open. Joe had said in those days, they used to do 4 sides on a session. So later on, I guess both brothers, they started arguing about whether or not to show Nat their new work. Noel was for it, but Joe was pretty much against it. And he said he couldn't see it at first. Ramblin Rose isn't for Nat King Cole. He said, for Christ's sakes, Nat's not going to do it. Nat has strings with Nelson Riddle. It's Nature Boy, Mona Lisa. You're not going to show that to him. And, I think Noel said, well, hell, I'll just throw it at him. So later on they played the song for Nat, and Nat kind of only seemed mildly, interested in the song. They had no lead sheet, so Nat could take it with him. So Joe quickly wrote out something for Nat while he waited. And Nat say, hey, listen, if I have 15 minutes left over at the end of the session, maybe I'll do it as something simple, and then we can just try it out. Let me fool with it. Nat himself told a slightly different story on how the song reached him. Sometimes the more you want to hit, the harder it is to get one. Jackie Gale, who runs my publishing firms, brought Ramblin Rose to the coast. I'd admit, I wasn't too excited about it, could have blown it, but we cut it, and you know the rest. Joe and Noel wrote a good song. A good song always has a chance. After Cole tried it out the session, Nat and Lee Gillette began to get some sense of potential commercial appeal of Ramblin Rose. It seems they recorded some sort of test arrangement with Ralph Carmichael or possibly Nelson Riddle. But by then, they had decided to shoot for the moon, which meant bringing in the single most commercial arranger they could think of, and that was Belford Hendricks. Recording took place June 19, 1962, at Capitol Studios in Hollywood, California. The first song that was recorded at these sessions were Dear Lonely Hearts. Now, Dear Lonely Hearts would be the second album, along with Ramblin Rose. You kind of want to call it Ramblin Rose Volume 1 and Dear Lonely Hearts Volume 2. Now, the first set of songs that were recorded in this session, along with Dear Lonely Hearts and Ramblin Rose, was Nothing Goes Up Without Coming Down. That song was written by Jimmy Williams and Clyde Otis. Clyde Otis was a producer at Mercury Records that worked with Belford Hendricks, along with Dinah Washington and Brooke Benton. The next song is The Good Times. Who's Next in Line, written by Clyde Otis and Van McCoy. Then they would meet again August 11th in 1962 at Capitol Records. The songs recorded were When You're Smiling and the classic country song Roverton Mountain. One Has My Name, the other Has My Heart. The traditional song Skip to My Lou and Sing Another Song and We'll All Go Home. In that same session, later on that evening on August 11th, they recorded Your Cheating Heart, made classic by Hank Williams, and the Weavers' classic song Goodnight Irene. And Joel Sherman and Noel Sherman wrote another song for Nat, I Don't Want It That Way, along with the Western theme song Twilight on the Trail. And also He'll Have to Go, made famous by Jim Reeves. Nat wouldn't go back into the studio until November 12th in 1962. That would be at Studio A at Capitol Studios in New York. That would be recording for Dear Lonely Hearts, which they recorded Miss You, Oh How I Miss You Tonight, All Over the World, Lonesome and Sorry, My First and Only Lover. At that session, the musicians were John Collins on guitar, Charlie Harris on bass, Leon Pettis on drums, and Belford Hendricks was the conductor. I don't know if they were probably doing overdubs at that session. I'm pretty sure they were. Then on November 13, 1962, back at the New York studios, they recorded Near You, Why Should I Cry Over You, Yearning, and All By Myself, It's a Lonesome Old Town. In that session, Nat recorded a song called Misery Loves Company. That song was written by Jerry Reed and arranged by Joe Zito. During these sessions, Nat had the best studio musicians of that time. Consist of Alan Reese on guitar, Milt Raskin on piano, Earl Palmer on drums, Billy Strange on guitar, Renee Hall on guitar, Jimmy Bond and Red Callender on bass, Al Hendrickson, and Ray Johnson on piano. Now, there's a debate when you listen to these recordings. For some odd reason, I really think that's Billy Strange on both albums, on Ramblin Rose and Dear Lonely Hearts. Played a lot of the solos. So leave me a comment down the bottom. Tell me what you think. That will do it on my story on Nat King Cole's country album. And as always, please like and subscribe to the channel. Click that bell icon to get new video updates. Until next time, take care. Bye.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for being such a lovely audience. Like I always say, make the best of everything, because once you're dead, brother, life ain't worth living. This is our lovely way to spend an evening. Hope I may come again and spend it with you. Thank you. Good night. God bless you.